Christy.
And welcome to the
Toasted Marshmallow Adventures podcast.
Today, via Zoom, we have a special guest. He's a comedian. His name is Cory Michaelis.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you,
happy
Cory,
to be here.
so much. We understand how busy you are.
Yes.
You are touring.
Yeah. I sat right there all day long. So real busy.
That's
I did work, though.
exciting
I did
life
work.
of being on tour.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
didn't get my drink. I should have got a drink.
Dang it.
Oh, yeah. I've got two of them. So.
Is there anything close you want to grab?
I actually do have something close.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah.
NyQuil. I just got a little
Oh,
bit. It probably sounded like I was joking, but
oh, dang, it did.
Geez.
I'm good. I'll just have it. People go, oh, is that urine? I'm like, whose urine is orange? But no, it's just
So
orange
what's with the
Mio.
NyQuil? Are you not well?
No, I just can't sleep, so I pound it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So had a show last night?
Yeah, in Tucson last night, Phoenix the night before, Glendale the night before that. So
Dang. How were they?
Run here. What was it? How was it?
How were they?
Yeah, great shows. Packed all three of them. So that's great.
Wow.
Arizona doesn't even know COVID exists.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So are masks required entering or
Anywhere?
no?
No, nothing really. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not
Yeah,
at all.
it varies so by the location. It seems like.
Really?
Yeah,
good.
and Boise is interesting because it's a college town. I don't know that it's liberal per se, but relative to the rest of to Idaho, it is. And
Yeah,
Correct.
definitely.
Yeah.
you have some people I've noticed that are going with the full-on vax card, and some people who are like, don't fucking tell me. Can I curse on this?
Yeah,
I know.
you can.
Yes.
yes.
Oh yeah. Don't tell me what to do. So you have a pretty wide gap there.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We
Seattle,
just
we don't really have that wide of a gap.
is it
Really?
Vax card everywhere?
Just as of I think 9 days from now, it'll be officially in Seattle.
Okay.
The rest of Washington. See, Washington has the same probably polarized folks, but on opposite sides of the state. So
okay.
not
That
all
makes it
hanging out in
easier.
one city together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'll
we
be
went to
able
a
to see
comedy
it next
show.
week.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. Next week at
Yes.
the Lounge at the End of the Universe.
But
Yeah.
as you were saying, we went to a comedy show a couple weeks ago where we didn't know what we were it was a late night one.
Mhm.
And so just happened to have our Vax cards with us and showed them to get in.
Yeah.
But yeah, and other places are like, we don't even know it exists. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only showed it once for a venue.
oh really?
The gay bar in Tacoma after a show. We went out and did karaoke, and they were cool with it on my phone. And then, no, that's not true. Also, the Seattle Seahawks game.
Okay.
You had to
was
show.
just wired.
Did you have to mask on the way into the Seahawks game?
Yeah, and he kind of, when you weren't eating and drinking, supposed to, but pretty much everybody just took them off.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we
So-
went-
I'm whatever. I'm vaccinated, and then I got it a month ago. So after
you did?
So I'm bionic, baby. You can't
Yeah.
get me.
We had it last Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Screwed up Thanksgiving.
Screwed up our season opener
Skiing. Yeah, we had to
snowboarding
cancel a
trip.
trip. Yeah.
Yes, see, it got
Are
in
we
the way.
going to snowboarding or skiing? We saw your Instagram of indoor skiing or whatever
in
at
Dubai.
Yeah, I went to
That's
Dubai and did
on my
shows,
bucket list.
and they have that indoor spot. I mean, it's not as far it's not great for if you're a real skier or snowboarder. It's probably not all that great, but for me, very amateur. It was perfect. And
Were you snowboarding?
An experience. I chose to snowboard. My two buddies who were with me, they were all about skiing, and I was like, oh, I'd never done either very much at all. And if I was gonna go forward with one or the other, I would go forward with snowboarding. So that's what I tried, and I was just by myself all day.
Oh,
My buddy
yeah.
had a panic attack on the slope.
Oh, really?
I don't think from cold hands, I think started to get him anxious, and then it just compounded, and so I was kind of waiting at the bottom. I was like, I think our time's up, and where are they? And waited and waited and waited. And then I kind of had to like just go, well, I'm going to go back in. It's kind of like if you go like to a skate rink, you know, they have like the
okay. So
area
you
where
rent
everybody,
time kind of?
yeah, well, just in terms of
Pay for
like
it?
everybody has to rent the stuff. You know, nobody comes with not nobody, but not that many people come with their own stuff. You rent all the gear, you rent the
Okay.
jacket, you rent the pants, you rent the snowboard because
Whoa.
you know,
Well,
I mean, if
yeah,
no one else
obviously.
can snowboard, of course,
So how warm is it outside when you go in?
like
And
110 outside
Oh, geez.
for
and like
reals?
70-80% humidity.
Oh
Yeah, in
my.
July and August. People were saying like, why did you go to Dubai in the middle of July? And I'm like, oh, that's cute that you think I get to choose when and where I
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
first.
right. Yeah.
I just say yes when I get asked.
of
Like,
course.
you know,
Yeah.
So
Really.
is it
why did you sleep with that
opulent?
woman?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You said I could.
Is it just super over the top wealthy, like unbelievably
Yeah,
rich?
they're trying to like, you know, there's a little bit of like they're out of oil. So if we're gonna get into some geopolitics here, but they don't have any more oil. So they're like transitioning. In fact, I saw a Dubai commercial during a football game the other day, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because I've said for years,
Oh,
well, since the first time I went about 3 years ago, I said, well, um, they should be marketing their tourism to Americans. Nobody in America even considers going to Dubai unless you have a little bit of money. But honestly, the flight's as cheap or cheaper than London or Paris.
really?
And you can get really inexpensive hotels, especially right now, because there's so many hotels and they're nice. They're all nice. So I was, but they've kind of backed themselves into a corner by telling everybody in the world that it's so rich and fancy and you can't afford it here, and there's Lambos on every street corner and all that kind of stuff, because all us Americans and maybe other people in other countries are like, I can't
No,
go to
I would never
Dubai
think
and
I could
visit
afford to
Dubai.
go.
But yeah, it is. I mean, it's it's like a big city in America in terms of prices of food and drinks and things like that. Nothing too
I
crazy.
didn't realize you could have drinks there. Can you actually
Yes.
have
Yeah.
alcohol?
So that's the other thing is like people, me included, don't know that much about, all the Middle Eastern countries and beyond. Dubai is 90% expats, so it's all white people.
Oh, okay.
It's all people from Europe and South Africa and Australia and Eastern Europe that live there, and 10% like local Emirati people.
Oh,
And
wow.
the Emiratis, if they're strict Muslim, probably don't drink, but there's drinks you can drink anywhere and everywhere. Everything's open till 2, 3 a.m. Bars, you
How were
smoke
your shows?
indoors, smoke cigarettes indoors,
Wow.
but no drugs.
No drugs.
Not even a tiny bit of drugs.
No.
No, are they very illegal there more than here?
Yeah, my buddy, he had candies in his bag that were just loosely in his bag. They were literally just candy, not anything. But they were trying to play good cop, bad cop with him to get him to admit that it was edibles. And he was like,
really? Wow.
oh, no, it's not. You can have them. I don't care. They're
Yeah.
not edibles. I don't,
Wow.
whatever.
Was
And
he terrified or no?
he was pretty worried. They would have just not let him in, I think. I don't think they
Okay.
would have done much else because it was at the airport.
Yeah.
And the guy like kind of slipped up and says something like, hey man, just tell us and it'll be fine. Just deport you to, we'll just and he was like, I know what's happening here.
You have it.
So he did not, he made it in, obviously, and did the shows and everything was fine. But yeah, it was kind of wild. You had to test negative for COVID within 72 hours to get home. And I didn't think much of that until I got there and realized and they're very strict with masking and they're very strict with distancing. And almost everybody has the vaccine there, but they don't have Pfizer or Moderna. They have AstraZeneca or the Chinese vaccine, maybe. That's what they keep calling it. I don't know that much about. So anyway, it's not as effective. And So probably 4 nights, so more than 72 hours before I was supposed to go home. I was at an outdoor bar and this guy was sneezing and coughing in the group of people. And I was like, oh, hey, vaccinated? She's like, I go, and I was like, I normally wouldn't ask, but I literally have to test negative to get home. So
it's important.
and she goes, no.
Oh, no.
And I was like, okay. And she goes, this is just probably like allergies or something. And I was like,
yeah.
And then she goes, I had just been too busy. I was in a music festival in Zanzibar. And I was like, all right, both of those words. Both of those things sound real bad. I don't know anything about Zanzibar, but I don't strike me as having top-notch healthcare.
Yeah.
So let me check. And music festival on top of it.
Of course.
So I go Zanzibar on my phone, and it was like cases through the roof, and I was like, Jesus. So I talked to the people who were in charge of the whole tour to allow me to get tested the next morning, because we had scheduled like a day, whatever. We had scheduled a day for all of us to go, all 3 of the comedians to go at the same time. And I go, hey, this is going to be a pain. It's going to be out of your way. You got to pick me up. And I know, I'm sorry, but the sooner I get tested, the less likelihood of me testing positive, even if I did get it,
Yeah.
So, anyhow, tested negative, got home, no worries, didn't get it from that dame.
Great.
Got it from somebody else, probably in Idaho, probably.
Oh, nice.
Pretty confident
good, yeah.
it was in Moscow, Idaho.
yeah, we're spreading it around over here, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we don't want to talk about
COVID. Yeah.
So taught high school for 12 years, Everett, Washington, made the
That's
leap.
right, yeah.
Wow.
So do you not teach at all anymore?
Well, yeah, not really. I teach comedy class to brand new people only, and
Oh, cool.
a couple times a year, a few times a year, and I've been doing it virtually this last year and a half, just to help people start. That's how I got started.
Okay.
So I started comedy about 12, 13 years ago. I was teaching at that point for about 6 years, 7 maybe. So then there was an overlap for a while where I did comedy for a while, just as a hobby, maybe made a few bucks here and there, and then got a divorce, and then was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. I don't have anybody else I'm responsible for, in terms of whatever money. And I didn't have any money. I was a teacher, but
how did you go from like the guaranteed income of being a teacher to being like,
yeah, so I quit.
You have a lot of savings.
I resigned, and in my district, they allow the state of Washington, maybe whatever, they allow you to have 1 year leave of absence.
Oh, cool.
And come back to your job or a job in the district, but not your job. So during that year, I just kind of tested the waters and asked them if I could keep substitute teaching during that time. And they were like, yeah, I mean, that's not really the spirit of what this is. Because like the spirit of it is like, go to Asia and teach for a year.
Yeah.
Or go just try something else for a year,
right.
And then come back and decide if you want to keep teaching. And I was like, well, I mean, I told them I was pursuing public speaking and comedy, which was actually true. I did have the thought that initially I would do like maybe assemblies at middle schools and high schools, but that's a whole different skill, and I would have created a whole new different presentation and jokes specific to that. And my buddy was like, what, if you're going to do that, what disease are you going to give yourself? That's funny because it's just kind of how it is.
Yeah,
like someone comes in with a missing arm or whatever and tells you their life story. So, but anyway, so for that year, I substitute taught, did comedy, went pretty well. And then at the end of the year, they're like, well, do you want to come back? And I was like, probably not, but just out of curiosity, what would the job be? And they were like, well, it would be middle school. And I was like, you can stop there. Nah, high school only for me. So I'm out, resigned, substitute taught for the last few years, but not for the last year and a half.
Wow.
Because it was virtual and not many people were absent when sports aren't happening, field trips aren't happening, teacher trainings aren't happening.
Right.
That all that's left is sickness or illness. And if you're just teaching virtually, it's probably easier just to teach your class that day than to try and prep a substitute teacher for how to do Zoom,
right.
Canvas, whatever.
Yeah. So you didn't have very many jobs.
There weren't very many opportunities.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even really try to take any. So, and then about a month and a half ago, I got an email. I was like, oh, hey, your teaching certificate's expired. And I was like, oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen eventually.
How do you feel?
You can't sub anymore. And I was like, oh shit, I might need that. But then you can get a lifetime substitute teaching certificate if you had a teaching certificate in the past. That's how they do it. Anyway.
Did you?
Felt a little weird to not have it. So there's no longer that fallback. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
So what you're doing now?
Maybe in that year and a half, I should have, because you take college classes or college, they call it clock hours. And I could have probably got enough to continue it for 5 more years, but
do you
didn't really even think about it.
Yeah.
Which probably means that I don't really want to do it.
I think so. I think your subconscious was like, nope.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure this comedy thing out if I happen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you loving it? I mean, are you following your dream right now?
I think I figured it. Yeah. I think this is it. Teaching was close. So I was like, all right, this is close, in front of people, presenting, teaching, being funny occasionally. But then once I tried comedy and did that for a while, I was like, I think that's it. Yeah, that seems like.
Oh, that's cool.
Thing.
So I read that you don't have issues with hecklers because you've been a substitute. Because I've been in classes where we made substitutes cry.
Those are the
I'm like
seriously, yeah.
I'm like the best probably one there's ever been in terms of that. Maybe not in terms of getting them to do work, but in terms of that I am, because but I get them to do work too, because I come in and I decided this early on. Actually, I did this before I started doing comedy and before I started teaching full-time when I was a sub at 22, 23 years old. So 17, 18 years ago.
Wow.
I was full head of hair, no beard, looked 19 years old, dressed nice, kind of looked like I was a student. Maybe if I didn't dress nicer, if I wasn't nice to dress, I was trying to get a job, so I was dressed nice. So there's a lot of there was some girls who were like, ooh, and then there was a lot of guys who were like, he's gay. That's the only insult they think they know,
Right, of course.
There's a couple of things that happened there early on. One time I wasn't trying to turn this into a bit, but I told a kid, a guy said that, and I heard him and I go, oh, well, hey man, thanks. And he was like, wait, what? And I was like, well, we just met and you know nothing about me. So if you're presuming I'm gay, you're basing it on gay stereotypes of men, which are that they dress nice and are good looking. So that means that you must find my outfit cute and me good looking. So thank you. And he was like, what's going on? And it probably wasn't the best move professionally, even though that's the right thing to say and do, even though, but it was a joke sort of. So someone could have argued that I was being unprofessional in that respect, but a girl came up afterwards. It was a really ritzy, in a neighborhood, a rich neighborhood. Not that that means anything necessarily, but it was more conservative probably. And a girl came up after and she goes, hey, thanks for that. And I was like, oh, what? And she's like, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian and I don't tell anybody. And I just appreciate it. I was like, oh shit, I'm just a stupid substitute teacher. But my overall point is that they try and really kick your ass. And so I quickly found out. So first of all, mostly to deal with that one, are you good? I had to create this list. What I put on the board is my name, proper pronunciation. Then I put yes, no, yes, maybe, and 23. And then they just walked in and they were like, what's this, this young dude here and what's going on? Like, so curious. And then like eventually I got it. I can't even remember what I said back then because I redid that again when I quit and went back to substitute teaching. Of course, now it said like 37 or 38 years old. So I just went through and I had jokes for all the way through.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
I was like, I just said, these are the most popular questions I could ask when I substitute teach. And instead of spending time answering them over and over again, I just answer them once and we get it out of the way. So yes, no, maybe, and 23. All right, next. And they were like, well, what are the questions that match it? And so then I go, all right, here. What I used to do is I would let you guess the questions that match the answers.
Oh,
but
nice.
There's a lot of inappropriate questions you can come up with that you think have the answer yes or no. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it for you for the first couple. Yeah. So then I learned, because I used to let them guess and they, oh, you go. All right. So then I would go, yes, are you the sub? Yeah, I'm the sub. It would be, what was the joke I did? It'd be weird if I wasn't, just
I know. Like, why am I here?
Miss Thompson's in my trunk. Or I think I did that, which was always a dangerous joke, obviously, but they weren't going to tell on me because they laughed. They just thought it was so cool that this guy was doing an irreverent joke as a substitute teacher. And then I go, are you married? No, used to be married. Then I would do a joke about that. And then a couple of those jokes ended up in my act, which is funny. Eventually, do you have kids? How old are you? Whatever. I can't remember how I did it, but I had a bit for every single one of those. And so we're 6 minutes in. Oh, and then I did like roll, and I had jokes for doing roll. Like, I don't remember all of them, but I was like, oh, I do like a whole thing. If I get your name wrong, make sure you tell me I get your name wrong, and then have a bit about that. And
that's awesome.
I know that's the big thing. They love when teachers get the name wrong because then they make fun of the kid with the name. And so I had a whole thing about how unique names are cool and
did that get there more on your side during the class?
Well, yeah, because by now we're 6 minutes in. I've done jokes. I haven't done any work.
Yeah,
they've laughed. And then I was really good at pronouncing names because I'm not like a boomer idiot. Like I get that it's David Nguyen, not David Nguyen or whatever. Yeah. So I'd almost get every name right. And when there was a name that was close, I had some, like I would go, wait, Cassandra. And then she'd go, Cassandra. And it'd be like, I got it right, or I go, ooh, 50-50 on this one. Cassandra. And she'd go, Cassandra. And I'd be like, I almost had it,
that's huge.
So it's not like, me, but whatever, there's no embarrassment involved. And so we're like almost 10 minutes in and they're just eating out of my hand. And then I go, all right, your teacher. And then teachers never give you, at high school, they never give you like hard stuff to do because they don't trust.
You're just like killing the day.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Because we don't have specific subjects. I subbed for anything from sign language to yoga to science. It's just whoever they can get. They're desperate for substitute teachers. So it's not subject specific. So they rarely would give us stuff that was actually involved teaching. And so then I would do that. And then I would, for about 40 minutes, do my own work on my computer up front while they did their stuff. And
nice.
Easy $180 or whatever. So I'd like to come back, but I got so used to golfing every day and doing comedy work.
I saw a photo, I think recently on your Instagram, you were golfing, but there was also another picture, and in the caption it said something about ate my first mushroom tip, and your face is there by a little mushroom.
I was out golfing in I don't know, I got high. No, I was Oregon Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did a few photos of golfing that were really picturesque and whatever, and sometimes I throw those up. And then just so, can you hear that guy?
Yeah,
he's watching the Dodgers, and he's
okay.
Another comedian. It's fine. So I just saw one of those like big old, like beautiful looking Super Mario Brothers mushrooms. And this is how dumb my job is I sit there and for hours go, okay, what's the photo? What are the puns or jokes
yeah.
I can put in the caption to go with the photo? And so I was trying to think of like a Super Mario Brothers thing, and I grew or something, because Super Mario is when you eat the thing or whatever, and then it's like mushroom tip, that's like penis. Okay, I'll make a penis joke. And so you just try and make the caption funny and try and get people. My Instagram has a very right now very poor engagement relative to number of followers, because I think I have a lot of fake ones. So I think I'm gonna start doing more irreverent posts, because anytime I post my ass, I get tons and tons of engagement and lose tons and tons of followers.
Oh, really?
So I used to be annoyed by that. But what's that?
Oh, I'm super impressed how you respond to everyone, like on Facebook.
Oh, geez. Wow. It's what I do.
It's got to be a full-time job.
Well, so like I do Facebook ads for every show now, almost every show, unless it's like the club. Like this weekend in Tucson, I'm just getting paid what I'm getting paid. There's no connection to the amount of people that show up. But I want the people who have seen me to or see me online to come out live. It's a better show for me. It's going to go better. And I also want the club to sell well.
Yeah.
This club, for example, sells out almost every show. They got a pretty good club here in Tucson. So I wouldn't have to put out
your
audio's freezing.
You're freezing up on us. Hold on a sec.
There you are.
Every time someone comments, oh shit, your face froze.
Oh yeah.
I'm back.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know where I was, but I got like 6 ads running right now.
Okay, it says our internet connection is unstable.
Okay, I think we're back.
Okay.
I think we're back.
Your internet connection is like
you wouldn't have to advertise at a place that
they're already selling tickets, so I wouldn't have to. But I want people to see me who know me from the internet, and then also, if they came out to see me specifically, that's worth $100 or $200.
Of course.
Then they might buy some merch, and then also the club sells out, and they go, oh, geez, we sold out a week in advance. And and I go, oh, crazy, I must be popular. But
nice.
I ran Facebook ads.
Well, I really feel like you are, based on the number of likes you have on your sponsored posts and the number of responses or comments, because you see so many travel by that have like not many.
Some famous people too. They could learn from me, and my buddy Andrew Rivers have learned from other people, Billy Anderson and Tyler Smith, who they both run weed smoking comedy shows.
Oh, cool.
And we learned a little bit from them, and then I did a couple of searches on how to run Facebook ads with the most engagement. And we kind of got it down to, and then Facebook changes shit on you, and it really sucks.
They do.
Just this morning, cross posting probably isn't something you've heard of, but cross posting is when I can post a video on my fan account of someone else's fan account, but it's not a share. It looks as though I posted it with the amount of views that it already had.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. So like today I posted a Shane Smith video. So you have to create a cross-posting relationship with the other page. And that takes a little bit of work. And you got to, hey, send me a cross-posting relationship link. And they go, how? And I go, I don't know. Here's the explanation of how to do it. And then they go, it doesn't do that. And they go, yeah, because Facebook changed shit on the back end. And so just this morning, because I've decided to do about 10 theater shows in my hometown of Everett in 2022. Nice. At a theater that seats like 600 and is willing to do a door deal with me. So there's not a huge amount of risk of a rental fee or whatever. But to do that, I'm not certain I want to go like big names, because I don't really know. I don't know agents. I don't know how to interact with agents. I don't know how to not get screwed by agents. I'd rather go like dry bar comedians who have a lot of views. I already have a cross-posting relationship with the dry bar page. So I can Zoltan, Brad Upton, maybe Shane Smith, some others. I already know how to do that and have that. Anyway, so that this morning I was searching to see which dry bar comedians had the most views and which ones I had cross-posting privileges with.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, well, first of all, it says at the top, it goes, cross-posting is moving soon. I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Moving where?
Yeah.
We're going to continue to work like this because it already is a little bit shaky. Like
Okay.
you type in the name and it like spins for like 3 minutes
Oh,
Yeah.
and finds one, and you're like,
Beta
was
version.
that, right. And so, and then all of a sudden they all went away. Just this morning, when the morning I'm trying to, so this is all not interesting to anybody listening, but
Yeah, but we want to know.
sure, you guys like it.
Yeah, we've
So
got Facebook pages.
The way when I go to make the ad, it is a video that I've already posted on my page that I can pull from.
Right.
So posted Shane's this morning, scheduled Andy Woodhull's for Tuesday, got Brad Upton's Monday, Zoltan's next Wednesday. So I would
you
just
can
post,
schedule with anybody you're cross promoted with.
cross post a relationship with.
Cross-post.
I can make a post on my page with their,
That's
and
way
so
cool.
then when I go to do the ad, it goes, what video do you want to use with this ad? And I go, I want to use that one that I posted 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But I don't have, you have to post it to your page first, right? So yeah. Anyway, so now today I posted Shane's just because whatever. And that was before. I wouldn't have posted his today because I would have posted someone I was already looking at, I haven't talked to him yet. I've talked to 3 other comedians about booking them. So I was like, shit, I wasted. And then they just went away. And so then I was like, and then they came back up. Like I refreshed. I went on a different browser. I did all this shit.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they came back up, I scheduled like 3 more just in case. Because scheduling was work is a whole fucking thing.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I've learned how to get a lot of engagement on using Facebook ads.
Okay.
And,
I've really noticed, because it is rare to see those sponsored things come by and they have more than like 5 or 10. You have like over 200 on some of them, and I was
shares
like,
and comments
and a lot of comments. Yeah.
Used
And
to
then
be,
I went through and you respond. I was like, that's part of it. He is
get ticks.
Yes.
But
Like,
it
so
might
much.
cost me by me commenting. I wonder.
Oh, it does?
I don't know. I can't figure that shit out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, maybe responding to a comment, it doesn't, but an original comment does cost, but that's okay. But I'm doing engagement. I don't know.
But you
It's all
find that they're
confusing.
actually, do you find that those folks are coming to your shows? I mean, it has.
Yeah, what we have found is that, what's the math we figured out? Somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 ticket for every 4. So what we do is we push it to the Facebook event, make a Facebook event, and then
Direct it.
the engagement goes to the Facebook event with a
Okay.
video.
Right.
And so when it comes up in your feed, you have that button is right there. You don't have to open anything. It's just, you go interested, going.
Yes.
And so people would just go, oh yeah, I'm interested. And I'm interested, or whatever. Well, now they are going to get notifications the day before. They're going to get a notification every time I post in the event. They are going to get a notification. I don't know how often, maybe a couple of days before. Hey, you said you might be going to this event, and whatever. So that's the reason we do it that way. And we've found for every event response, or for every like 4 or 5 event response, we sell like 1 ticket.
Wow.
And each event response, I get about $1 to $1.50. So if you go, let's say $1.50 and 5, let's go high end. 5 times 5 is 5, 50, so that's $7.50. $7.50 I spent to sell a ticket for 20 or 25.
Wow. That's worth it.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. We're going to have
But
to try that.
if it's my hometown, we sold 475 in Everett.
Okay.
With me and Andrew, and that was with way less ad money than was, I didn't hardly put any ad money because it's hometown, and it was the first weekend it was open, like Washington was wide open. But then like 3 nights ago, it was a Thursday, it was a little bar. It was an actual comedy club, and it was in not great part of town. And I sold like 40 tickets.
Okay.
And I made money. I didn't lose money, but it was like not the best.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a whole
Wow.
trial and error, and then you go, please don't change shit. I just learned this.
Yeah, exactly.
And please
So-
don't be another global pandemic. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, did you do Zoom shows during the height of
Yeah,
it?
I did a lot of them. I didn't care, and especially because one company, they did a good job of pivoting. They were a booking agency, and they did a good job of pivoting and reaching out to companies to do corporate Zoom shows.
Okay.
So these corporations have a bunch of money for every year to do their Christmas party, their whatever, and that money was just not being used, and all their employees were sitting at home.
How difficult are those?
So-
Because I listened to Tuesdays with Stories with Mark Normand, and
Sure.
they're pretty rough for him at times.
Well, he's a little too irreverent probably for some of these.
Oh yeah.
Losing sunlight here, but he might be a little too irreverent.
Are you clean?
And not willing to? Yeah, usually they have to be clean. I'm going to keep talking, but I'm
Okay.
going to open this.
Okay.
Yeah, usually have to be pretty clean.
Know that.
And
So
so
he might
because
have more
it's
issues
HR's there and shit, and so.
Yeah.
But I've learned to do jokes. Like I do a thing where I have a shot glass. Let's say this is a shot glass, and I ask them, and first of all, I try and coach them on how to do it right. You know, just make sure everybody's video and audio is on as best you can. Some people just won't. Spotlight me. Make sure that you give me a good introduction. It'd be best if this was done at a time in the meeting where you were having a fun time or something, or like,
Right. Exactly.
a lot of times it's like, you're going to be, right in the middle of our big, whatever, boring, I don't know. I encourage them to be like, encourage people to drink. They're at home. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a meeting, sometimes it's an event, which is fun. And sometimes it's an event that is serious, and they're tossing comedy in. But like, let's say they're cool with drinking, and they're like, I'll go, hey, cheers. And then like they'll cheers. And then below the camera, I'll have the entire fifth.
Yeah.
Do a big guzzle of the entire fifth. So just like visual gags like that.
that's
There's like
great.
a handful of them that I do. I'll
Yeah.
have a joke where I give out a phone number of somebody, and it's not the real phone number, but they think it is. And I go, oh, don't worry about writing it down. It's in the chat. And then I hit return, and it immediately pops up in the chat. And they go like, oh man. And then I watched these magicians were amazing, because they had created a whole, like, they had written code to be able to like have people download an app and type their phone number in, and then did a magic trick with that.
Oh wow.
But I was like, oh, I would love to have all these people give me their email, or
Of course.
or be able to type them a thing during the show, and they had written this code so that they had people on their phone could hit like emojis, and they would they would float up on the screen. So I messaged those guys, and I was like, what is this at? What is this thing you're using?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we created it for ourselves. So it's like, I was like, oh yeah, I don't expect you to give me access to it or like whatever, but that's amazing. So, but I just, whatever. I mean, look, we're podcasting, and you've laughed a few times. Like, it's not impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I have a backdrop and good lighting at home, not here, but at home. Good lighting.
Yeah.
And I do a green screen and a backdrop and
nice.
a good mic, and I'll dress to their theme if they have like a Christmas whatever, or if they have one group was doing like a Halloween costume. I judge their costume contests, and I'll do like if they ask me to do things, I'll within reason do it, like judge our costume contest. Like, okay, I'll write little jokes for each costume.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So I got in early to the Zoom, and my buddy, Joe Larson's very funny. He did like a really clever thing when he did my Zoom show, where he would watch the beginning of the show, and then he opened with like, we're going to do like best beard or favorite audience member, best laugher. or like he had all these like awards he created.
Yeah.
And while the show was going on, he was photoshopping that person's face
Oh, that's
into the thing.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then he put him up behind him in the green screen, or shared his screen, maybe. I can't remember which. And then that's something really interactive and fun. And I never went
Yeah.
that far, but it just, you know, how willing are you to, these magicians were the ones that I was really like, because a lot of them are like, I don't know, this is my job. I got family. This is my,
exactly.
I got it. And comedians should be that way, but we're a lot more like, this is art and this is, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But so you found less, you know, comedians to be less willing to like really go for it.
Yeah.
But also there's so many different types of comedians. I mean, there are comedians that just do cruise ships you've never heard of, you know.
Yeah.
And like someone like that is similar to maybe like a magician where like, oh, I don't have, like, I can't just rely on unemployment. That's not going to cut it. But I could have just got unemployment and done nothing. But
for a year.
But I was like, nah, I keep working and writing and doing stuff. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's taken you amazing places.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
Yeah, Tucson, Boise.
Dubai?
Dubai, yeah.
Dubai. Oh, Dubai, yeah.
So have you been to the lounge before? The lounge?
Yeah, we did it last year. And it was like a little distanced. And I saw the notification on my phone. I feel like it might have been late summer.
Oh, okay.
Nice. No, it doesn't seem right. Because it was really cool in the morning. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I went from there
last year, maybe 2020.
Maybe literally a year ago, actually, because I went to Vegas straight from there.
Okay.
And Vegas was around Halloween, so
Sounds about the same time.
It was sort of like tenuous, and that's what's hard about these. Now it's a little easier, but this last year and a half, right? Like not just things being closed, but like not knowing, right? So like, especially when you're running, we do 2 months in advance for Facebook ads typically. So, you know, who knows, you know, one venue last minute was like, hey, we're going to reduce capacity to 150 from 400. Yeah. And we've already sold 200 tickets. So
yeah.
They're like, oh, wow, we're going to do that. And I was like, well, it's not like a requirement for you to do that right now. And they're like, no, but we're just going to be on the, you know, whatever. I was like, that's great of you. That's nice, I guess, or whatever. But hey, we've sold 200. And then they're like, well, we'll let you have those 200. And then we were like, well, we were on track to sell maybe like 300. So what can we do with this rental fee? And they're like, nothing. And we're like, you just cut us in half and you're not going to change the rental fee?
Yeah.
We talked them into changing the rental fee a little bit. Ended up having a good gig and made like bar gig money basically on a Saturday night when we were helping for you know, club weekend money. But
now when you say are you traveling with a couple people or Andrew
Rivers and I do this as much as we can.
Okay.
Anywhere we can.
I want to talk about Andrew Rivers because he's your co-host on your podcast, right? Homeschool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's my buddy and co-host of the podcast, and then so we constantly are like, all right, well, what do you got on this? What weekends do you got open? I heard about this place and whatever. Let's do that together. Or cool. We're doing a Hawaii trip. We did 2 Hawaii trips, one a year before everything shut down, and so we didn't at the beginning of this year, and so we're looking to do that again in January or February.
Oh, perfect.
If we get a venue to respond, but they're really strict in Hawaii, so
yes,
I assume they still are. And try that.
There
again.
we go. Hey.
Yeah, I just wanted it on my face. You know, so we do that. We were gonna do Houston, but we kind of canceled that because it's hard. It's like hard to know, like what in places where we don't have friends and family, like what's gonna work.
Have you been to Austin?
Yeah, we'd love to, but there's a lot of competition in Austin. So what we found is it's easier to go to cities where there isn't already like a big club or a big scene.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any other options. And they think like Eugene, Oregon thinks like, oh my God, Cory and Andrew are coming.
Woohoo!
Whereas Portland is like, we got a great comedy club. We have a good comedy scene.
Yeah.
Phoenix, like 5 clubs that are good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive to O'Connor's pub in a bad part of town.
Right.
So I just, it's a little harder. Houston was gonna be like following the Seahawks, but then like they stink, and then Russell Wilson got hurt, and Houston stinks, and so we would have gone to the game for really inexpensive, but then we couldn't set up a run. We needed to kind of set up a run to make it work.
Yeah.
So Dallas, Austin, anything.
Mm-hmm.
We probably could have, but we just weren't getting a response from Austin. And then it was less than 2 months away, and we were like, well, that's dangerous. And then the venue emailed us and was like, hey, do you guys want to go to the smaller room? Is that okay? We have a bigger event for the bigger room.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, well, mathematically that just doesn't work for us. 80 tickets times whatever we're going to charge, minus our ads divided by 2, or minus our flight, minus our hotel divided by 2, and we're losing money. So we said, why don't you just do your thing? We'll try another day in the future. And then that weekend we booked like something near home.
Oh, perfect.
The thing about, I think that we've found people are funny about how far they'll go too. Certain places in the country, people will travel hours to see something. A lot of places, like in our area, I'll be doing Everett, right? And someone will go, when are you going to be in Snohomish? And I'm like, it's literally 10 minutes away or 15 minutes away. But they're like,
but they won't come to Everett.
Or just like, it's a little far. It's just, let me know when you're in Snohomish.
Interesting.
I can Uber to it. I can get a babysitter. I
5
can
hours to go to Salt Lake City for some
Yeah.
shows.
6 hours. Yeah. We've traveled to LA to go to the Comedy Store to see stuff.
Some people are willing and just some people aren't. And back home, it feels like they aren't, but I can take advantage of that, I guess, by being like, well, okay, well, then I'll do 6 shows a year.
Yes.
In the greater Seattle area. If you don't want to go to Everett, fine. I'll do Bellevue, Everett, Bellingham, and Snohomish or whatever, and run ads targeted only at that, because you can just, it's just a radius, and run my ads directly at those people. And so we have one of those. And then Brad Upton, who's like has the most like dry bar views of anybody, he's a good buddy, and he's been booking some one night things on off nights at mostly comedy clubs. With decent door deals or whatever. And so I taught him.
That's where you get a cut, right? Of the door?
Right. Yeah. Okay. As opposed to just a flat rate. Right. And so we did Glendale on Wednesday. And because it was Phoenix, it was small, it was only 100-seat room, or Glendale, Phoenix area. He's a little older comedian. His material is a little for older folks. So it was a little easier for him to sell there. And he had friends and family that came. So that helped too.
Yeah.
And all that combined meant that he only had to spend a third of what we've been spending everywhere else.
Oh, nice.
And then sold it out. And that multiplied by the tickets. It was a good night, especially for a Wednesday. For him.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
And he attached it to a Tuesday that he was doing. That was a private gig. And so that's a good week for him.
Yeah.
When we went to Denver together, it was okay. It was really full, a lot of people, but it just cost them a lot to make it that full.
Yeah.
And, hotel.
You ever just kind of go
whatever,
break even just to get your name out there, to have people see you? Is that a thing?
I suppose it just depends on because right now what we have is I haven't done any cruise ships. I had 3 booked last year and they all got canceled, of course. So that's a revenue stream, right? There's colleges. I don't do very many of those. I didn't do well at the conferences. They're very hard. And my act just wasn't quite right, which is fine.
Yeah.
And then clubs, and then anything I ran a show for 9 years that we haven't done in 18 months. In my hometown on a Sunday.
Oh, cool.
And that was a show night or weekend that was not blocked out. I could travel and come back and do it. But so you got all these things, and it's like, well, where's the room for? And then,
True.
where's the room for? If I have an open weekend, I want to, now that I know how to do this, I kind of want to self-produce something or stay home.
Okay. Yeah.
So, where would I want to go where I might not make money,
Just
but
to
it'd be less to do with getting my name out and more to do with like, I want to visit that city.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try my method in New York City.
Right.
There's too many comedy clubs and
It's
amazing comedians,
crazy.
and
Yeah.
there's just no reason for me to even try it there.
Yeah.
Now maybe I'd go out to like Hoboken or something
Yeah.
and find a little theater, and maybe, but I just don't know that I have any fans there, and so
Yeah.
but I just booked a flight to New York this morning because I got to get to my MVP, Alaska Airlines MVP 75,000.
Are you one of those?
I'm close to 75,000. I'll be, with all the flights I have booked the rest of the year. Oh, I hope I didn't do the math wrong on this. Oh no, I just realized. I hope I didn't include Houston, because that's going to be canceled, that flight. Anyway, with all the miles I have booked this year, I was going to be close, so I bought one more flight.
Just to make it.
New York was going to get me to 7.
Wait, what does that get you on Alaska?
Like, this is about like Willie's dad. I have a best friend whose dad is like MVP status, and if he's low, he travels from Seattle to LA like for a full day and a half or something, just to get the extra
back and
miles.
forth.
Yeah,
you don't even have to take the flight. I don't think.
Is the cost worth the
apparently he'll
benefits
spend a
of
whole 24 hours just traveling to try and get his miles up.
I don't know if 75K is going to be that much of an advantage, but I was so close that I figured I'd get it.
Yeah.
But since choosing one airline and doing this, I've built up 300,000 miles with them that are just sitting there. I don't know what that translates to exactly, but a lot of flights.
$300,000.
Yes, I hope so. I'll trade these in for money, please.
Exactly. I wish we could.
And then you get always premium seating, no matter what.
Yeah.
For free.
Do you have to go through? Do you get TSA pre-check or?
I do that. That's separate, but I got that.
Yeah.
Then I get 2 free check bags on every flight. I get free change fees. Well, right now everybody gets it anytime, but I get those, and I get day of change fees, so I can go like every time I check in, it goes, "Do you want to take an earlier flight or a later flight?"
Yes.
And I'll check maybe to see if I do. Like tomorrow, I have an 8 a.m. and I tried to go. I was like, I'll go a little later, but there wasn't one. But then
8 a.m. to Boise? No, not Boise.
Yeah, back home from Tucson.
Okay.
And then the 2 free check bags is great. Free drink every flight, and they give you a little chocolate, but you get upgraded to first class probably 50% of the time.
Nice.
So the next level up, I'm hoping more often, because once you go first class, I mean, it is hard to go back.
Very hard to go back.
So especially those Alaska meals, they're actually very, very good. And unlimited free drinks, and also every flight I walk on with a box of chocolates and a note that says, "Thank you for serving us and dealing with dumbasses who don't know how to put their shit in the overhead."
Who do you have?
And then I write my name and my seat number, and then they come thank me and give me free drinks. And
nice.
Note to self.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing
you can feel it
like that back in coach.
But then I saw a couple other people do it, and I was like, "Ah, shit, I don't like this."
I can up my game.
That was like special.
Here's cash.
But yeah, Andrew's my co-host on my podcast, and we do all that shit together. We try to do all that shit together, and then we created the podcast as like a live stream last March, where we were doing live jokes that we wrote that week.
Yeah,
in monologue style.
He loved your concept.
Well, yeah, I was listening to it. Yeah, where you your guests heckles you for the first 10 minutes while you're doing your jokes. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
I don't know that
a bit of the Mark Norman one.
Yeah. Oh, that Mark's fun, obviously, and
it
was very nice to do it. He probably shouldn't have done our podcast, but he was nice to do it. We don't have very many listeners, and it's not like super well produced, but it's mostly to to hold us accountable to write every week.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Andrew does the lion's share of the writing because he just smokes all day and just jokes all day. It's his whole life. I golf and I like have sex occasionally and stuff. So I'm more busy, but he so he does lion's share of the writing for sure. And the result of that was a lot of new material. And just Tuesday, his new album and specials came out, and this upcoming, Tuesday's album came out and first exclusive release, I don't know. And next Tuesday, he's going to have a full release. And it's a lot of like jokes written from the last year and a half from the podcast.
Oh, cool. Where can people find that?
His is going to be his stream everywhere on starting Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
October
Awesome.
19th. So, and it's called, he's really leaning into this. Why am I promoting his shit? It's all right. He's really leaning into.
I want to talk to you because you have a couple specials out. You know,
he's really leaning in. He went on the most recent Bachelorette.
Really?
Who was also on The Bachelor. He went on a couple dates with her, and we're both friends with her. Man, I got bit by something. Itches. And he has a story about that's true, that he is written and put into the act.
Oh, cool.
And so he's really leaning into that because why not try and she went from our friend with 1,000 followers on Instagram to I think she might be at 1 million as we speak.
Wow.
That's what The Bachelorette does. And she got a fiance and is gonna get married and the whole thing. So he's calling it For the Wrong Reasons, because they always talk about, are you on here for the right reasons?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
And then the image is him with a rose and the whole thing. So he's really leaning into that in hopes
I think you should.
Clout chase is what it's called.
Of course.
He texted him accusing him of, you're clout chasing again. And he was like,
damn right.
Probably a little bit, I guess. But sorry.
Yeah.
What bit me?
I feel like I got bit by something as well.
Jeez.
Two right there. I hope that's it. Anyway, so we work together and do all that stuff. I'm a ways away from probably a new album. It's going to be a while, but my last
you have
one,
a couple, right?
Last one came out like 3 years ago now. No.
Was that College Dropout?
Yeah, the collage dropout.
Collage. I noticed that. And are you a big Kanye fan or?
I just copied his album cover in hopes that he would sue me and people would find out who I am. But,
nice.
It did not work. He didn't notice. I tweeted the Kardashians every day, like, look at this asshole. And
that's hilarious.
Blocked. So so I just have those download cards that I sell at shows, and then streaming is that's another revenue stream that went up during the last 18 months because makes sense. And so and then I did a dry bar special that I called Bad Teacher, and the two of those, there's some money coming in and stuff like that, and there's an overlap on those two, but a dry bar is squeaky clean, and my album was decidedly not clean, partly because I was just releasing it myself and I didn't really think much into it. And then eventually I wished I would have made, because it's a track-based world. It's all about tracks. It's not about the whole thing as a whole. Granted, if your whole thing is good, great, but it's tracks that people listen to. That's what pops up on Spotify and Pandora and all that shit.
Yeah.
And that's how you get paid, is by tracks. So had I been a little more savvy and known, I would have, the tracks that didn't need to have cursing or be dirty, I would have made them not so. And then maybe I could have got on the clean comedy serious channel, which is lots of money. But on that same token, they have to be really clean to make it on there. It's hard to get them on there. So I don't know. We're good, I guess, with what happened. And then that's 800-pound Gorilla Records. They're like the best. And that's who Andrew's been working with. I think they maybe combined with another company. And so I'm not as prolific a writer and producer of the content as like Andrew per se, but I'm probably more so than some, or than a lot. And then if I lived, in New York, didn't play softball on Tuesday nights, didn't go to trivia on Wednesday nights, wasn't dating somebody, and didn't have didn't golf, then yeah, I could probably produce
So
material
like no life.
a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's what a lot of these comics have. They just do open, shows every night,
Yeah.
multiple shows a night, and I think that's admirable and great, and I'm envious of it in some ways. But I don't want to sacrifice all this other stuff in my
Yeah.
life for that. So I probably will never become famous, and that is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a good little thing going here, and
Well,
that's fine.
Sounds like you're balancing it. You're
Trying,
having
yeah,
awesome life
trying.
as well as
Yeah.
Yeah,
this other
without using it as an excuse either. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be
Yeah.
both and
Yeah.
I work to try and make it both and as much as possible. But
yeah.
it definitely isn't. I'm not as prolific of producer material
Mhm.
Mhm.
for the time spent, but also just like maybe just I'm not as good. That's fine too. But
It seems like you put a lot
but
of
the results are decent jokes, enough.
Yeah.
I'm still doing jokes from a long time ago in my act to headline, and that's I'd prefer to get rid of them and do new ones. But
yeah.
like tonight or last night, it was the first time ever headlining the club. And the club owner kept literally texting me like, "You ready? Are you gonna bring it? Gotta have a good weekend. I'm gonna give you a chance here, but it's gotta be great." And I was like,
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I'm literally doing, I'm doing some bangers, I'm doing some ones that I know work, and some newish
Yeah.
that I know works, but I'm not taking very many chances this weekend.
Yeah.
Granted, I could come up with an excuse every weekend or every show for why I don't want to do new. Oh, this is an awkward room. I'm not going to do new
Of
tonight.
course. Yeah.
So you got to be really careful to not do that, to really challenge yourself and stuff. But this weekend I'm fine with it. And Boise next week. I was just there a year ago, so
yeah,
I better do
talk
some
about
stuff
that
I've written in the last year, or else there might be people that are like, "Oh, I've heard most of this or whatever." So.
I see.
And I dated someone from there for about less than a year, and I worked Liquid Laughs for multiple times. And Andrew and I did our own one nighter at Liquid Laughs when it was open once a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago. So I've been to Boise a ton and done comedy in Boise a lot.
Probably the shows next week are October
22nd.
Friday and Saturday is the 22nd and 23rd, 8 p.m. each night at the Lounge at the End of the Universe.
Awesome. Love that place.
They're general admission tickets and VIP. The VIP, I wish it said it on the website, but the VIP are front of the room, and free beer koozie. I might need to order some more albums.
Gotta worry, you don't have much time.
I'm actually maybe it's a good thing that they didn't write what you get for free.
Well, maybe throw in something else. We went to a show last night. We got free kazoos. So if you have any kazoos lying around.
A clever idea.
Yeah.
I have enough koozies to give away, so that'll be fine, but I don't think I have enough albums. So you gotta buy the album. There you go.
There you go.
Buy it. Yeah.
So they didn't write that on the web. It doesn't describe what VIP is. And I was bummed, not annoyed, but like bummed that they didn't write that on there. Because I don't think it was super easy to like just the way their interface works. But now I'm glad they didn't, because I just realized I don't have enough comedy albums to give away.
I know they're revamping their website, so next year it's gonna have to all be in line. so.
Well, I hope they're doing well. I mean, in general, just because I like Jen a lot and I love the people that work there. But I hope they're doing well, at least for another week. So.
I hope so as well.
And no rule or law changes in your city.
Club.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, right?
Last night.
Yeah, a couple of great shows.
Yeah.
They're always doing really good shows. Yeah, there.
We saw the Yum Yum. If you get an opportunity, see the Yum Yum Comedy Hour.
Oh,
it's crazy. Burlesque on stilts.
Puppets.
Puppets. Jen was a puppet. It was incredible.
Well, how about that?
80s pop synth music, and it
was quite a vibe.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast here.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to your show. We're going to be there, I believe, on Friday night.
Yes.
At the
Lounge at the End of the
Universe.
Oh, shoot, I used up some of my jokes on this.
Oh, no.
Oh, geez.
Thank you so much for coming to Boise.
Happy to
Thanks
do
for
it.
coming on our podcast, and we are looking forward to seeing you. I hope, will you hang out afterwards at the Lounge so people can meet?
I almost always hang out afterwards.
Good. That's a fun place to just connect.
Very, very common. I'm the one that's going, hey, does the staff all party? You guys
Right.
cool? Where are we going? And they're all,
Yeah.
no,
Oh, dang.
we're going home. And I'm like, "Oh,
Right.
do you have a bar at your home?"
Right, exactly.
So,
Where do you live?
yeah, the other comedian, he doesn't drink. And last night he was like, are you ready to go? I'm like, all right. Fine.
All right, all right.
Come home and like sit in the bed. And watch
Exactly.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway,
Well, we
thanks
look
for having
forward
me.
to-
See you guys next Friday, maybe.
Yes,
Yes,
woo-hoo,
thank you.
for
Yeah, we'll
sure.
see you there.
We will
Yeah.
be there.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.